you'll see the paper just tears up to shreds.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, and another thing is, don't use any oil. If you have to oil the gun, don't use any old oil because it'll gum up. Use gun oil. If you can't find gun oil, which is kind of hard to find here in Ecuador, use sewing machine oil.
Okay.
Very fine oil that does not gum up. That's important. If you use WD-40 or another kind of penetrating oil that's not designed for long-standing, you know, when it dries up, it might gum up the works, and it may cause a problem, malfunction. So don't use any old oil. Use always gun oil, designated gun oil, or sewing machine oil that does not gum up. That's the important thing. And of course, keep it oiled, not bathing in oil, but keep it kind of nice, and don't let it dry up, because it'll dry up after a few months. You need to kind of wipe it down, put a drop of oil here. Where do you put the drop of oil? Here, in that mechanism right there. Put a drop of oil here, put a drop of oil in the hammer, put a drop of oil in that slit there, because that slit there, let me show you. That slit there is what see that how it comes up, and that's what pushes the hammer back, and it pushes the cylinder around. See, it goes up, grabs the cylinder, and the cylinder goes like this. Grabs it right here in this area here, and it pushes the cylinder around counterclockwise. Okay, so watch. That's what pushes this. See, that's what pushes this around. Okay.
Awesome.
So watch this little thing when you fire it. This screw here has a tendency to get loose with the jarring of the shooting. This can get loose, and if this gets loose, you lose this, and you can't open the cylinder. So make sure that this one is not loose, and of course you know about that. It's loose, and then if that gets loose, then the cylinder will come out. Which is, you need to do that when you're going to do a thorough cleaning of the gun if it gets really, really dirty. So that's about it. Any questions? Oh, if you need to have the serial numbers here, the serial number of the gun, and this is the maker's mark, and this is the caliber, 38. Anything else you need to know? I guess that's the basics.
What do you think about? Okay, I know I can get an aftermarket Smith & Wesson Model 10 speed loader. How about Model 10 grips?
These are, yeah, you can get Model 10 grips.
Same thing?
Yeah, it's about the same. Grips are fine. These grips are fine. You know, they're not your
competition
grips, but they're fine. There's nothing wrong with these grips.
Okay.
What you want to get maybe is a holster.
Yeah.
This is a 4-inch barrel.
4-inch barrel based
on a holster on a Model 10. 4-inch, a holster for 4-inch. You might want to get one of those. Get that in there.
Airline mule to bring down.
Yeah, holster. Leather is good. Leather holsters are good.
Okay. If I could get a pattern offline, I could have my Kotokachi people build it for me. You know?
Get a home. I don't know if they're good enough to do that. They get a custom-made Safariland.
Patriots at the fire department.
No, that's an
Army.
Yeah, that's an Army with a Bambi bucket, Army helicopter. Yeah, get a Safariland holster, nice leather holster.
Okay.
Yeah, with inside the belt maybe, or 2 things like that. Yeah, it's a Bambi bucket. Constant training. So you were oiling here, you were oiling there, you were oiling in there, and I would oil here where this goes. So both sides, oil here and oil here. Okay, and then have a few oil drops behind the trigger, and then there's another There's another spring. There's a spring here that occasionally needs to oil. So you take this screw out, pop the grips, and then you see the spring there. You oil the spring.
Okay.
That's all. And then I would oil down here and down there too a little bit. Just a drop there and a drop there, because the oil will spread. And if you put too much, it'll just come out and just flow out everywhere.
Okay.
Now, one of the things to see this grip.
Yeah.
See that big hole there?
Yeah.
Okay. That's another problem with this grip. Is not exactly designed. Apparently, it does not exactly designed for this particular frame, but it's still good. I mean, it still works fine. It's just a cosmetic thing, that you wouldn't see that in a regular gun made in Western or Colt. You'll never see that in that grip. It doesn't detract from its functioning. It just doesn't look good. That's all.
And they're very economical. If it is indeed a Model 10, I could get some grips that'll be more appropriate.
Oh God, yeah. You can get model grips. But you can get smaller. You can bigger. You can get all kinds of rubber grips. These are plastic grips. You can get rubber grips that don't. Well, this one doesn't slide either, but that kind of thing. So, finger out of the trigger. If you don't have your finger in the trigger, the gun will not fire. And that's one thing that people should realize.
Put into practice.
Oh, the gun had a fire. It fired unknowingly. No, the gun does not fire unknowingly. It's because somebody had the finger in their trigger, and that's why it fired. If you have your finger out of the trigger, no matter if the gun is loaded or anything, if you have it even like that, if you have your finger off the trigger, it's not going to fire no matter what you do. No matter what you do. Okay? But as soon as you have the finger in the trigger and you go like this, it's instinctive. Or you have a flinch, or somebody scares you, or something, all of a sudden you go like this and boom. That's why I don't recommend shooting this way, because it's a hair trigger. It's too easy. You always fire double action. That way it's a long pull, and that means you intend to fire. You pull that sucker, you're intending to fire. Like here, you're not intending to fire, you're aiming, all of a sudden something happens, you lose your step, or you step on something and you pull, and boom, there it goes. But you had to pull the trigger to fire it. That was unintentional, in the sense that you didn't mean to do it, but your body reaction pulled the trigger for you. That's why I always recommend pull the trigger like that, full, long. That way you know that I'm intending to fire. And you can fire pretty fast this way. Okay?
Yeah.
What we need to do is sometime go to the range and fire some rounds when we get the rounds, and find out where we can go and fire some rounds without getting in trouble.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll find out where we can do that. I'll ask around.
All right.
Okay, because it has to be in a
official
place, a designated place, so we don't get in trouble. See the roughness? The roughness here, roughness here, roughness. There's all kinds of roughnesses, but it doesn't matter. See, before we had that problem where this one is
getting broken in.
Sticking. It doesn't stick anymore. See, it doesn't stick anymore. So you remember that?
Yeah.
I could just push it and it would stay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't stay anymore. It doesn't stay anymore.
Well oiled and getting some use.
Yeah.
Breaking it in.
Yeah. So it's getting better. It helps to. It's like any machine, you need to oil it and break it in. Okay. See a little bit of roughness here still, but at least it returns. It doesn't stay. It doesn't stay. Okay. All right.
All right,
Jackie.